When Tram, because he was the first housemate that came into the house, followed by Timmy, right? Now, when Timmy came in after Tram, there was this awkward moment that was actually captured. Even Ebuka was like, okay, right? Okay. And to be honest with you, when the remaining started coming in, you could see he now started warming up to them. Honestly speaking, I believe I'm not the only person that wondered why he acted that way. So eventually today, while they were having a roundtable conversation with Tram, Sheba, Sultex, and the Timi herself, right? So Tram concluded that the reason why he didn't say hi to Timi was because he thought she was going to be a proud person. How do you just judge a freaking book by its cover? To begin with, even if she's going to be a proud person, she just walked in. That is going to be your housemate for the next 70 days. And you just started like that. Mind you, first impression matters. But that's by the way, anyways. Which Sheba was even saying, concluding that she didn't expect any form of hospitality from anybody, that she just came in here, she just came into the house with an open mind, that if she gets a good vibe from the housemate, she's also going to vibe back in that same light. If she doesn't, she's still fine that same way. Right? It was so weird when Tram said that, but that's by the way, right? Tram said that. So basically the Tram himself was talking about anger issues, that he had anger issues, he finds it difficult to control his anger. And Shiba was asking him that hope that has stopped now. Like hope he has worked on it and all of that, right? So there was this general conversation they were talking, like I told you, it was like in a group of four, right? And then Soltex was talking about him switching his emotions, right? Because all in the light of this conversation, he said he could switch his emotions. Like he cannot tell you for sure that this is who he is. Do you understand? So Sheba, on the other hand, said yes, she totally agrees with that too, in a way whereby some people will tell you that this is who they are and they cannot change. Meanwhile, physically you're changing, your skin is changing, your nails is changing, your beards are changing, and she's very correct. Change, for one, is constant in our lives. So you cannot just wake up and say you cannot change yourself when yourself self biologically is changing by itself. So why can't you work on yourself and change yourself? Do you know that ironically, while they were having this conversation, the microphone shifted to where Martins was having a conversation with Mercedes, a very, very uncomfortable conversation to begin with. I I didn't even know if I wanted to hear the end of the conversation or I didn't want to hear the end of the conversation, because obviously this is an adult show and I hope there's nobody watching me less than 18 years. Obviously, I have set it like that. But this is what I'm trying to say here, yeah? Martins and Mercedes were having issues, and he was saying something like he selects his women. And from the point of he selects his women, that Mercedes thought it was like normal, normal, everybody has a spec, everybody has a type. Is that not so? But he not told her that no, it wasn't like that. It was even more like, for me, I picked it from a point of this person is disgusting. I really don't get it clearly, but somehow I now got it. First and foremost, he said that it's not every girl that can cook for him to eat or something like that. It's not every girl that can touch his hair. So Mercedes asked him why. He now said that your skin needs to be on point. You need to look good. You need to look clean. You need to. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay for everyone to have a taste of what they want to taste. If you know what I'm trying to say to you, it's okay for everyone to have their own species. So he now went down to saying that Mercedes asked him, okay, the aspect of why does he not want any woman or any lady to just touch his hair. He said that when some ladies touch his hair, that the hair will pain him, which is very relatable. Even me as a female, it's not every lady I want to touch my hair, because some people, their hands are very painful, which is relatable. But the most interesting part for me, Martins, was when he spoke about the private of a woman. Hey, God, oh. I don't know how the talk jumped from he selects who we touch him, who we cook for him, who we, that kind of thingy, to that one, the private area. Even I said this, the switch came to her as a shock, right? When he said how he determines if a woman's punani will be sweet. And Mercedes was like, at some point there, you could just see clearly that Mercedes sort of disconnected from the conversation. Like you could tell where you're in a conversation where you're already uncomfortable and you've disconnected, right? So she now just asked for asking sake. Obviously, it's a conversation that you want to just engage in it, even if it's reluctantly. He now said that that the way he determines it is not by how I'm even feeling embarrassed talking about this thing. Why now? God, oh. That is not from how tight or how wet or how, that what he determines is by the tension and the feel like how a lady is going to react when there is pressure. You know, when the, I was even glad the camera just switched immediately. I said, "Thank you, Kayode." I mean, who is the person in charge now? But we were used to always calling Kayode. And then, boom, it landed on the conversation between Goddessa and Nomy. Ironically, you know why I said it was ironic? The conversation between Goddessa and Nomy was now totally opposite of the conversation that Sheba, Tram, and Sultex was having with Temi there as well, right? Now, Sheba was talking about change is constant, but Nomi here on her own part is saying that this is who she is, and she has gotten to an age that she cannot change. I'm like, okay, this is what we call individual differences, and that is why I love sociology for the fact that he agrees with everybody's perspective because there was also something Sheba was saying on perspective. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not mixing the whole thing right. Now she was talking about perspective where she said two people can have issues and they could be right at the same time. Two people can still have issues and be wrong at the same time. So this is clear perspective in reversal, whereby Sheba agrees that people should be able to change. You cannot just say this is who you are and you cannot change. Meanwhile, Nomi is saying she has gotten to an age where she cannot change. This is interesting. You see why I said Big Brother is a social experiment. It just shows us what it just depicts what real life actually looks like. One man's food is another man's poison. I think I don't know if I said something like that in my last video when I was talking about the head of house making rules and talking about respect or disrespect. Now on this part, someone is saying that you cannot just be static. You have to oscillate or you have to be dynamic, meaning you need to change because everything in life is changing. Why Nomi is saying that she has gotten to a particular age in her life that she cannot change. And guess what? Goddessa actually agrees with her. Yes, and then she was talking about another, that she got this admiration from Araga. Yes, that he saw her bling bling, and he was asking her if she's a nepo baby. So, in case of some of you that don't know what nepo baby mean and nepotism in full, nepotism baby. That is what is trending, and this is among the Gen Z. They are proud to be nepo babies, either a he or a she, meaning coming from a privileged home. Nepotism itself means privilege. So she now told him that no, she's not a nipple baby. That the bling bling she was wearing on her ear is just just an ordinary earring that her sister got or so, something like that. So the whole thing, and Goddessa was actually agreeing with her. So can you see how life is, where someone on the other hand feels that they are too old to change, but I don't think so. No, me, we always change is constant. Every phase in life pushes you. These are very young girls. Nomi is a very young girl. Godessa is called a very young girl. And talking like that, I just feel that even their frontal cortex is not yet fully developed. Yes, because the frontal lobe rather develops from the age of 26, 27, isn't it? Some will say from the age of 25 it begins, but most scientific literature will say 26, 27, 28. Yes, they're about from mid 20s to late 20s. That is when the frontal lobe fully develops. Yeah, for both male and female, although the female frontal lobe develops faster than that of the male, right? So I just give it to them that that aspect of life is not fully in its real form. It hasn't gone through the full cycle, so it's okay. At the end of the day, we have different phases in our lives, and it's all good. I hope I was able to just bring this down. Meanwhile, the next video I'll make will be on their diary session. I might not necessarily be able to bring everybody's diary session because as I'm speaking here now, Gerald is having his own diary session and I'm missing it, so I would not necessarily be able to give you guys all of their discussion with Biggie. Yeah, so in the next video I don't